Hi, my name is Sarah, and my synthesis project was for the World Affairs Council of Northwest Ohio. My specific client was Bill Hilt, who is the president of the World Affairs Council of Northwest Ohio, and the mission of that organization is that it's a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that works to promote awareness and engagement of world affairs in our local area. They do this in several different ways, including hosting events for the community, working with schools and educators, and even working with congressmen and lawmakers. My client had a website, but the visual communication problem was that the content was outdated. It hadn't been updated since 2014, which meant that the design was also very outdated. There were a lot of widgets and pixelated backgrounds going on. And also the layout did not match the objectives that I had interpreted from my client and that they had orated that they wanted for their target audiences. So using the Wayback Machine, I can show you the old website. So as you can see, the logo is very pixelated, the background kind of ends abruptly, the photos aren't very good quality, and there's just a lot going on. Here is an example of their old About Us page. Everything had its own page for like the bios, so there was just a lot of links. So the process of getting to my solution was first the analyzation of the old site, kind of what I already showed you. From there, I created a wireframe to reorganize the site, to give it tabs for students and for teachers and for the community, and outline that and kind of streamline so there weren't all those different links for different bios and things. And from there, I created mock-ups of each page to get like the design and more of a sleek like one column layout that would be really easy to transfer to mobile later on. And then after I had that, then I actually coded it all and put it into like the WordPress like framework and put it on a server. Now for the results of my solution. So this is the new site that I designed. So here we have the home page with this nice updated graphics, very streamlined, buttons to donate, and then we have this separated specifically so that people within our target audience know that this site is for them, and they'll also know exactly where to go. We can go back up to the top and click on students and teachers. So my client was in charge of coming up with a lot of the content, but as an educator himself, he got very busy toward the end, and he's going to be working on that this summer. So here I just have areas for that to go into, so any student opportunities that he comes up with will be listed here. The Global Scholars Diploma is like their biggest opportunity for students, so that will then link to its own page with like the different information and application for it, and then curriculum supplements for the teachers will also be found here. So in my survey of the evaluation that I did for Module 5, I found that most people fell into the student and teacher category, so that's why that's listed first. That was the primary thing that individuals wanted information on and wanted to be able to click. So after students and teachers, we go to the About page because the second highest thing that people wanted to learn about was the organization as a whole. So here we list the mission, both the internal and continuing mission, as well as going out to the community. And then there's information about membership and about the leadership of the World Affairs Council. So we can see how to become a member. And then this just lists more information and links to different forms. go back and view the leadership page. So these are all the people of the World Affairs Council, and this just has their photos, their bios, and the role that they hold. Now, the most important thing for the council was that there was somewhere for them to list their events, as well as showcase what they have done in the past. So here we have our events tab, and once they give me content for upcoming events, either I or they can input the date and time of those, and then we have a listing of all their past events as well, with links for more information about them. And then something else that the council was really looking forward to doing was having a section for the community to find local resources. So if immigrants or migrants have come to our area, that they can look for different ethnic restaurants of maybe their homeland, or just to experience something new. So those will be listed here, and we'll have links for those as well. Now at the top, I have a utilities bar. The first thing is to contact the site. So we have just a nice little form here, and then that will get emailed directly to the president. And then we also have a member login. So this is a password protected area. So members will receive a password when they become a member, and then any information that's like special to them will be listed on this page. Throughout this process, there were many lessons that I learned. One of the first ones is that it's very important to start early and to work in small chunks. Just me personally, I'd rather just like start something and like plow through to the end. So I didn't want to start anything too early. But then by the end, I quickly realized that this was not just like a one weekend project. And I learned how to like chunk it up so that I could work on it for multiple days and not get burnt out. The second thing I learned was to not be afraid of making mistakes. I think a lot of the reason that I was putting the project off was that I was afraid I was going to like mess up the website and not be able to fix it. But through this whole process, I learned a lot about workarounds and persistence and asking other people for help. And as you can see, like I have a working website now, so I definitely learned a lot and made it through. And so if I had started earlier, then that just would have given me more time to ask people for more information. The last thing that I learned was to keep in close contact with my client. As you can see from the website, there's a lot of areas where I would have liked my client to contribute a little more. But while I was very familiar with my client, they're a family friend, maybe if I had like emailed or reached out more often, then perhaps they would have let me know that they were no longer supplying content a little earlier than they did, which would have just been helpful in the case that maybe I could have created some of the content, or just to have known that there wouldn't be content in those areas a little earlier.